Hello. So, I've been on this weight loss journey for a little over a year now, and I've been sharing my story with you guys on social media. So far, I've lost over 60 pounds, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me on social media with lots of questions and just looking for some sort of inspiration. So I thought I would come out here and share my journey with you guys, the things that worked for me, what I did, what didn't work, and the steps that I took to make things better. So over the next couple of weeks and months, I will be sharing, my experiences, with you guys. But today, I thought I'll get started on one of the things I consider, to be very important prior to embarking on a weight loss journey. So just a disclaimer before we get started, I can only speak to the things that have personally worked for me. I cannot guarantee that it's going to work for you or anyone out there, but I can only share what has worked for me. So just thought I'll throw that out there before we get started. So I think having the right mindset or the right attitude is very important prior to embarking on a weight loss journey. So if you're out there just, wanting to get started on this process and you're not sure how or why, or even if you need to do that, I think it's really important to, make sure that you get into it with the right attitude or the right mindset. Just like anything you do in life, the chances of succeeding are really high when you go into it with the right mindset and the right attitude, and weight loss is no different. So today, I'll be sharing with you guys 4 things that I did to just help me get in the right mind frame prior to starting this journey. So the very first thing that I did was decide to be committed, right? So you're gonna have to decide that, you're serious about this, and you're gonna want to make sure that you're committed, because it's very easy to say that, you need to lose, XYZ amount of weight, but, it's easier said than done. So you definitely have to be committed in order to get started. So in order to be committed, you have to identify the reasons why you want to lose weight. And for different people, people who have different reasons. Personally, I had a couple of different reasons why I wanted to do this. But I would encourage that when you are identifying the reasons why you want to get started on this process, that you really make sure that you're selecting valid reasons, things that are really important to you. Just because if you write down reasons that are not important to you, when you run into obstacles or challenges, it's easy to give up. But if you write things that you really mean and you think they're that important, when you face, challenges down the line, it'll be easy to kind of go back, and look at the why. And that will help you stay committed and motivated to keep going, no matter the obstacles. So personally, I had a couple of reasons, why I decided to do this. So when I asked myself, why do you need to lose weight? Obviously, I had a lot of reasons, which I had to write down because, like I mentioned, every time I run into difficulties, I had to go back and look at those reasons, and it gave me a little boost to keep going. So one of my reasons, obviously, I was overweight. I needed to, lose weight. I was becoming out of breath, even just, completing minimal activities with my kids. I would have to, have to stop and catch my breath. And I just didn't like how I felt overall. So I decided that it was time for me to do something about that. Another reason that I kind of had on my list why I needed to do this, I currently work in healthcare. So over the past few years, I've been seeing a lot of young people in my age group, or maybe even younger than me, just have really, really not just in good shape. And that seriously scared me because I looked at how overweight I was, and I looked at the patients, that I'm providing care for, like the different challenges, health challenges that they were going through. And I knew how much weight played a role and impacted, their day-to-day lives. And I decided that, I had to do something, because if I didn't do anything, nothing was going to change. And I would probably find myself in a similar situation, a couple of months or a couple of years from now. So I think that was one of my motivating factors. I decided to, get started on this journey just so that I can avoid, health complications that could arise from being overweight. So you would have to, decide just, what your why is and, the things that really matter to you and kind of write them down, because without reasons, I don't think, you're going to really stay committed. You always need to have something to look back to when you run into obstacles and challenges. So the second thing that I did after, identifying my reasons to help me stay committed was setting a goal. So you would have to decide, how much weight do you think, you want to lose? Well, just right off the bat, before you even get started, you're going to have to decide on this. Again, this will differ for different people. Some people may just want to lose 10 pounds, some people 20 pounds, some people 5 pounds, but you're going to have to write down the goal, deciding, just stating how much weight you would like to lose. And I think it's important that when you're setting your goals, you set realistic goals, right? So you want to make sure that the goals are realistic, because if you set unreasonable goals, that may be a big obstacle and you may become easily defeated, especially when you're not seeing, a lot of progress. So for instance, if you decide that your goal will be to lose about 10 pounds over the next, 2 to 3 months, just make sure that, the time frame that you have for achieving whatever goal you set is realistic. You shouldn't be, for instance, you shouldn't have like lose 50 pounds in 1 month. That's probably, going to be tough. And, if you don't see results, you probably will feel discouraged and you will not have a reason to keep going forward. So I think when you're writing down your goals, it's really important to make sure that your goal is realistic and that it's logical and attainable. So the third thing that, kind of helped me get in that right mind frame, after having my reasons why to stay committed, having my goal, the next thing that I did was to come up, with like a plan. So how am I going to achieve the goal? And, this again, for different people, depending on, what your plan is, it will be so different. But for me, the things that I personally focused on were, my diet or my eating habits, my personal care, like self-care, sleep and rest, exercise, and, just being active overall. So you're going to have to, break these things down in the different categories, and then you're going to have a plan, right, on how you want to do this. Are you just going to focus on exercise? And if you choose, to focus on exercise solely, are you going to go to a gym to work out, or are you going to work out from home? So these are some of the things that you have to include in your plan. If you're going to start off with just by, working on your diet, are you going to meal prep by yourself, or are you going to join a weight loss program like Weight Watchers or keto? So you're just going to have a plan and write this down, because that will help you, again, to just be in that right mindset prior to embarking on this journey. So after having the plan, the next thing that I had to do was just come up with an action plan. So after you've written down, the things that you would like to do in order to achieve your goal, you would have to decide how to do them. So for instance, if you decided that you were going to, increase your activity or kind of work out or exercise, and that you were going to, for instance, enroll at the gym, then in the fourth step, you probably have to go obtain membership at a local gym if you don't have that. Or if you decided that you were going to do home workouts, you're going to have to start deciding, doing some research on what equipment that is affordable for you that you could obtain for in order to assist you complete your home workout. Same thing with, the diet, or if it's self-care, if you're not getting enough sleep, you'd have to come up with, the how, like how are you going to make that aspect better, and write these things down, because together they'll all kind of impact how you just kind of get started on this journey. So just to recap, we talked about 4 things that I personally did to kind of help me get in the right mind frame. The first thing is to stay definitely committed. And in order to do this, you need to have your reasons why you need to do this. You have to write those reasons down, just so when you run into obstacles, you can always refer back to the reasons. And just make sure, once again, that the reasons that you write down, something that, you hold dear to your heart. Because if you write just anything that you don't mean. It's not going to mean anything. Even when you run into challenges, you easily give up. So just make sure you really think about these reasons why you want to do this. And then the second thing would be to set a goal. After setting a goal, then you want to have a plan. And then after identifying, the plan, how you're going to achieve this, you want to get started on like taking the step to actually put this plan into action. So I think, this is where we're going to pause for today. If you have any questions about the things that I just shared so far, feel free to reach out and I would love to provide some answers as best as I can. If not, I will see you guys in the next series.